Hi, welcome back to Digital Learning. I'm Connie Colosi, Director of Media, Text, and Digital Learning, and I have with me today Alex Heeren, who is a Technology Integration Coordinator in our department. And Alex is talking with us about Office 365 applications of OneNote, Class Notebook, and Staff Notebook. And so we are going to take a quick look at an example of a OneNote, and we're using the online version.
Yeah, so this is a class notebook. So in the previous segment we talked about how to make one. You go to that app, but now we're in the OneNote app. We've built our template, and what we're seeing here is a student view. So I'm actually a student in this notebook, and you're seeing all the default stuff that comes when you first build a OneNote notebook.
Right.
So this is not one that we've customized at all. This is just totally vanilla from a student view. So I want to kind of go over the way that this is laid out first of all. So one of the biggest benefits of OneNote is it's got all of your different pages organized. If you can think about it like a digital 3-ring binder. We've got sections that divide out your information, your math section, your biology section, but that divider doesn't, you don't put anything on that divider itself. You put your information on a loose leaf piece of paper and you stick it in that divider. OneNote is organized very similarly. On the left-hand side, you've got your sections. So these are special sections: welcome, collaboration space, content library, and then as a student I will see my name. Now if I was a teacher, I would see everybody's name, but I can only see my private notebook, not everybody else's as a student. And then once you click on a section, so I'm in the welcome section because that's highlighted, I can see all my different pages. So each page is kind of like a very powerful Word document. It's not exactly like Word, but a page is kind of similar in that context.
Okay.
You'll see a lot of similar things. So I can see my welcome to the demo class. This is a piece of, this is a page that shows a lot of information. When you first make a class notebook and you're interested in learning more, go through these pages in the welcome section and read what they say. I mean, they're here with links to online resources through Microsoft, all kinds of information that you can use to learn about how to use OneNote. Once you've gone through this, and it's got even other stuff here too, like Sway and education, how to use some of their other cool tools. It's really got some good stuff in it. But
So even just logging on to start a notebook, there's a lot of professional development that they can access.
Tons of resources here. So what I recommend a teacher do for their class notebook, because this is the first thing a student's going to see when they log in, is the welcome page. Once they've read this and kind of looked over it, I recommend the teacher actually goes through and just right-clicks and deletes these pages. I can't do it because I'm a student here. If I was a teacher, I could delete these. But you can right-click and you see that delete is grayed out, right, which is one of the nice things about OneNote Class Notebook is students can't delete stuff you don't want them to. But if you get rid of these things and just have a very simple welcome page to show students what is in the notebook, that's a good kind of best practice, because you want to put most of your stuff that your students are going to see in this content library. So these 3 sections here are special. Collaboration space, content library, and then the private student section is all special. So let me actually start at the top with the collaboration space. So again, in the default, there's only one little section here called using the collaboration space, which you can delete. You can add your own sections in here naturally. A collaboration space is where anyone can edit anything. So students can make their own pages. They could talk about themselves. They could work in small groups. You can actually, from that other app that I showed you, that management app, you can go into Manage Notebooks and get into a little nitty-gritty here, but you can get in and actually assign student groups to different sections here, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
In that management piece, you can also turn the collaboration space off. So if you had students that maybe you didn't want to be in there making edits without your supervision, or maybe they lost the privilege to do so for some reason, you can disable student access to the collaboration space and lock the collaboration space.
Okay.
So that's something good for teachers to know. I get that question a lot. But and this is something a lot of teachers do use with students, but the #1 use, I said this earlier, is the content library. So the content library, unlike the collaboration space, you can see this little yellow bar here. It popped up for just a second, said this section's read-only. For me, because I'm a student.
Okay.
Which means I can reference all the stuff here, all my teachers' PDFs that they've put in here, their Word documents, all of their, you can paste YouTube videos, you can put in sways, you can put in forms onto a page. You can put all your stuff into a OneNote page, and your students never have to leave the notebook for their content. And because it's all read-only, the students can't break that. They can see it, interact with it. I could copy a page into my private section without deleting it, but I could do that. So the content library is where most teachers put most of their stuff.
Okay.
For students to reference. And then each student has a private notebook. When you set up your notebook initially, you're going to choose what each notebook has in it. So in this case, I've got assignments, class notes, quizzes. But you could make those whatever you wanted. And every student will have those sections. So let's say I had an assignment that I needed to do. I could go in here and type, this is my essay. And then I can start typing. You see across the top here, this looks a lot like Microsoft Word.
Right.
It's not that different. You've got some differences. I can draw, for example. I can insert pictures. Here's actually one of the biggest things that people love about OneNote is you can actually insert file attachments, kind of like you would attach a file to an email.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a file attachment here and actually put a Word document, PowerPoint, any other kind of file on the page as a downloadable attachment. So again, if I've got all 15 years worth of content that I've generated for my class, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to have to recreate that for this. You don't have to. Just attach it to a page. Then the students can all have access to it and reference it. Or if I'm a student and I've made a video, for example, I could just upload that as a file attachment as my assignment. So this should all, again, look pretty similar to Microsoft Word. Do I have time to show one of my favorite little features about OneNote?
Sure, we'll take time.
Real fast. There's a lot here, but my favorite thing are stickers. So you can
stickers.
actually insert stickers. This is great for giving feedback on students.
Oh.
Some of these stickers, you can see the different types of stickers they have, but some of them have little pencils down next to them. So I'm going to go to my favorite stickers here, the office drama stickers. So they've got little pencils, so I can actually pick one and then customize what it says. And I can use that to insert and give feedback to students in kind of a fun different way.
Yeah.
And it just, I spelled that correctly, right? I hope so. My English teacher wife would get on me if I did this wrong. But
Yeah, I'll let her get you.
But I was a math teacher, with full disclosure. So, but you can insert stickers, and that's kind of a fun thing you can do here. So that's what the page looks like. And then you can add new pages. So this is my essay. Well, I'm going to add a new page here, and I'm going to call this inserting pictures. So let's say, for example, I wanted to insert a picture of a cat. Well, the old way of work was I'd have to go to Google Images, I have to do a search for a picture of a cat, download the picture on my computer, find it, insert that picture. Microsoft's made it a lot easier and a lot faster. All I have to do is go to the Insert tab, click Insert Online Pictures, and do a search for kittens.
Oh.
Choose the pictures I want, click Insert, and the picture is going to be there. And so I'm a student now. In this view, my teacher could see right away what I did. So if my teacher's monitoring my notebook, they would be able to go in and see, oh, there's a picture of a kitten, that's adorable. Maybe I'll leave a sticker as feedback on their kitten. You can kind of real time see what they're working on here. So this is kind of the brief overview. There's a lot more to this, obviously, but it's very powerful, and to just get started, it does a lot. Do I have to, I'm sure, one more cool thing I saw a teacher use?
One more cool thing.
One more cool thing. I've seen language teachers use this because you can actually use your devices to record audio and insert an audio recording. So I've seen them assign, for students who maybe are a little shy, don't want to speak up in class, they'll assign them record an audio of yourself speaking language doing a particular assignment. Then students will insert a recording of their own audio, and the teachers can then use that to assess their performance and progress on how they're doing as an oral assessment, which is something that's notoriously difficult for them to collect.
So a very long time ago I took Spanish, and of course a big part of that is you're supposed to be able to speak Spanish. And the only way to speak Spanish is to try it out in front of 30 of your people that intimidate you,
Right.
peers, and so this would be a great way to practice and get feedback without having to show out in front of
Exactly.
everyone. So, a couple things I want to address before I wrap this up. we've had some conversation and discussion about how we get the student names in. And I don't think we're going to have time to give a tutorial on that, but how about we talk about our tech toolbox, and can we get back to that and kind of...
Yeah. Let me do it by inserting a link here on this
Okay.
page. So I'm going to go to techtoolbox.pcsb.org because that is how you get to our blog. I'm just going to click insert here. And if I click that, it's going to take me to our blog. And now that link is on that page, so if I wanted to put a link on a page in OneNote, I could just do that. And so that takes us to our internal SharePoint site. So as long as you're a teacher, you have access to it. It'll take you right to it. We have a blog here that we are updating with new information all the time. We also have some resources down here for specific tools. So if you want to learn more about Safari Montage, or let's say you got a new projector and you don't know anything about it, well, if you go to this Epson Brightlink page, you can go through and see we've got some videos, we've got documents to help you out, and at every page you can always go back and contact Digital Learning to come help you out more specifically if you need further help. So we're really proud of how far our blog's come. We're constantly putting more into it, so we're happy about it.
So really, techtoolbox.pcsb.org?
techtoolbox.pcsb.org. Or if you go into Office 365, it's actually a SharePoint site.
Okay.
So you could click on SharePoint and just search for it in SharePoint as well.
Okay. So Alex, you're a really busy guy, but you're not so busy that you can't go help people.
No, I'd much rather be out in a teacher's classroom working with them than sitting up in the admin building. And we do that a lot. We schedule times to go out work in planning periods, work before school, after school. Our job is to work around a teacher's schedule. So we love doing that. We're all teachers at heart. We love being in the schools. And so if they send us email, we'll find a time.
So despite my job, I'm not a person who natively loves technology. And so sometimes there might be something I know would make my job easier, but because I don't want to take the time to learn it, I continue to do it the hard way. How would you counsel a person like me?
I tell this story. So I had to teach my kids keyboard business typing one year, and over the course of the summer I trained myself how to type correctly because I did not have proper typing skill, and at first I actually typed much more slowly. It was very frustrating for me, and I got upset about it, but I stuck with it. I kept retraining myself to do this new way, and by the time I stuck with it, I ended up typing twice as fast. Now, the benefit of that initial learning curve means that for the rest of my life, I'm saving so much time every time I type something. It's the same kind of process. There's always going to be a learning curve when you learn something new, but our department never shows something that's going to make your life more difficult. Long term, this stuff will save so much time and effort. You could never go to the copy machine again if you use this stuff realistically. So it's really powerful stuff that, sure, there's a learning curve too, but it's worth it, absolutely.
So your positions, there's 4 of you, James Wilson, you, Laura Clark, Stacy Pellerin-Vanderloop, are made available through the technology referendum. And your whole job, your purpose for being employed is to help teachers. And I used to say, there's a lot of have to in the world. Working with you guys is definitely a get to. So reach out to the Office of Digital Learning, check us out through techtoolbox.pcsb.org, and let us help you. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope you'll start on an adventure to learn more about how technology, and specifically the tools found in OneNote, can help your students engage and make your life easier.